Solana has appreciated over 4,000% in 2021. In fact, it has appreciated over 150% in August of 2021 alone. So there is definitely a lot of interest behind this coin. So in this video, we will take a look at exactly what Solana is, also how it works, and we'll also look into reasons that are behind its massive price appreciation, and we'll also do some technical analysis, and I will be giving out my own outlook on where I see the price of Solana going into the future. So if you would like to learn more, welcome back to Chibind Brothers. My name is Joel. Please allow me to ask you to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell, as it helps us with the YouTube algorithm to get our message to a wider audience. Now, before we get into exactly the nitty-gritty of Solana, I would like to start by giving you a full disclosure that I do not personally currently own any Solana, but I would love to accumulate some Solana on any potential price weakness. And I will be giving you out my own personal thought on how I am planning on doing this later on in this video when we get to the technical portion of the video. So now, Solana was launched in March of 2020 by the Solana Foundation, which was founded by Anatoly Yakovenko. So Anatoly Yakovenko was a senior staff engineer at Qualcomm, which is a US tech/semiconductor company. So what is Solana? Solana is a decentralized blockchain that aims to provide smart contract to app developers that would develop decentralized applications that will be used in applications such as DeFi or decentralized finance, or in applications such as NFT or non-fungible tokens. So now this is very similar to Ethereum with the smart contract that Ethereum also provides on its network. But the big difference here is that Solana has what they call a proof of history protocol that is combined with a proof of stake protocol, whereas when we look at Ethereum currently runs on a proof of work protocol, very similar to Bitcoin, but they are working on transitioning into a proof of stake protocol. So then what the proof of history protocol provides to Solana is basically this. What happens here is that the Solana uses a function that they call an SHA-256 function, which is basically an hash time function. What it does is it's basically time stamping every transaction that are happening on the blockchain without the need of any consensus to happen between the nodes validators. So the big advantage that comes with this is that it allows for a high throughput. What I mean by a high throughput is it allows for fast processing times or very fast transactions per second to happen. So this right here provides Solana with the ability to be very, very, very scalable, or this idea of scalability that we usually hear a lot around, that Ethereum is not able to scale. But when we hear other projects such as Cardano, where Cardano are also working on trying to scale more than Ethereum can. So then this whole scalability on Solana basically allows Solana to have a block time of about 400 milliseconds. Block time is the time in between generation of new blocks. Guys, 400 milliseconds. So then when we compare this to Ethereum, for example, Ethereum has a block time of about 10 to 15 seconds. And then when we compare this to Bitcoin, Bitcoin has a block time of 10 minutes. That is insane. So Solana is definitely fast. But then this proof of history does not compromise the security of the network. So the network is definitely secure and is also decentralized. Another important concept of Solana is that they have what they call a Solana cluster. Solana cluster is basically a set of independently owned computers that are working together or against one another to verify outputs from users. So then what these clusters do, for example, a single cluster or a single computer in this network can be able to use for tracking the performance of other computers, basically looking at for example, how many transactions at the other computers in the cluster have been able to process. And also they can be used to track the prices or different real world assets. So then what is really interesting with this cluster is it allows basically the formation of what they call Solana ledgers. And these Solana ledgers contains recorded transactions of every event, every transactions that have happened on the blockchain and are preserved for life. Let's now get into the juicy portion of this video. Sol is the native token of the Solana blockchain, or the cryptocurrency of the Solana network. Solana is currently, or Sol should I say, is currently trading upward of about $87 at the time of this video recording. On the Solana blockchain, Sol can be used for settling transaction and smart contract fees. But also due to the proof of stake mechanism that is also used by the Solana blockchain, users of Sol can stake their Sol to node validators and will also receive a portion of newly generated Sol based on their staked value. So Sol has a long-term inflation rate of about 1.5%, which means over a long period of time, its number of newly generated token will be increasing at a rate of about 1.5%. At the time of this video recording, Sol has a circulating supply of about 290 million tokens. So when we look at Sol, what is very interesting with Sol, especially comparing it to Ethereum, is that transactions fees on Sol are very cheap compared to Ethereum, which on the Ethereum blockchain, transactional fees can be unbearable at times. So this is another advantage that Sol has over Ethereum beside the fast processing times. Now, what is the reason behind the massive price appreciation of Solana or the Sol token? In August, news broke that a digital asset management firm called Osprey Funds registered with the SEC, which is the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, a new of its kind Solana fund. This new Solana fund will give the Sol token access to institutional buying, which is very bullish because this new Solana fund will be publicly traded in the stock market. And basically what will happen here is it will give institutional buyers, people that have more money, institutions that have a lot of money, the opportunity to buy into the fund, which the fund will have the responsibility of owning Solana. And all this money will be going into Solana. And this is one of the reasons that is pushing the price of Solana so high, because a lot of retail investors are seeing the opportunity and are coming in and buying Solana before institutional investors start coming in. And we'll also have some institutional investors that are buying Solana right now. The next news is another news of a new project that will be going live on the Solana blockchain. This new project is called Pi Network, and it is a data oracle, which is very similar to Chainlink on the Ethereum blockchain. What this data oracle will be able to provide is it will provide Solana with market data from multiple outside real world sources. And now developers on the Solana blockchain will be able to use this data to power on-chain applications. In the world of, for example, DeFi, which is decentralized finance, and in here we can have applications such as lending protocols, and these lending protocols definitely rely on outside market data to be able to set prices and basically allow users to use these kinds of applications. Let's perform some technical analysis on Solana as promised earlier in this video. As you can see, I have the Solana 4-hour chart. On this chart, I would like to show you something real quick. So I will pull up some trend line and I will trace some trend line in here. So I will put this trend line right here, and then I will put a second trend line all the way up here. And so as we can see so far right now is that the price of Solana is actually playing within this trend line right here. As we can see, the price went up. Let me just get this brush. We're seeing that the price is going up, came back down, went up, came down to test this level, is going back up. Now it's trading up here at about $87, basically, you know, hitting this trend line above here. Now what's going to happen here is that the price could either break above this trend line and go higher, or it's probably going to correct to some lower level all the way down here before going back up here. And since we are here, another thing that I would like to take a look at is when we look at RSI, we can see here that RSI is getting a little bit overbought. So we need to be careful trading right now. So then what I will do here is I will go ahead and get rid of these brushes that I have traced already on here. And I will also get rid of these trend line, and then we will go into a 1 hour chart. So we'll go back to the we'll go back to the 1 day chart, and what I will do here is I will go onto a logarithmic scale. So now that we are on a logarithmic scale, as you can see here, I've already traced some trend line. So we see this trend line on the bottom here acting as a resistance, and that trend line on the top, basically on the bottom here acting as a support, I should say, and another trend line on top acting as a resistance. What is really interesting here is we can see this is since August of 2020, how pretty much Solana has been playing within this big channel. So he went down, went up, came back down to test this level, and now it's going back up. So it's either from where it is right now, either going to correct because of the trend line that I showed you on, or the channel that I showed you on the 4 hour chart, or it's going to break above and keep going all the way it reaches a high level up here before it come back down. So then when we look at this high level up here, that price is somewhere around, in the $150 all the way up there. So that is one thing that we are looking at the price right now that is possible for the price to be going into. So then now, as I said earlier, that I do not own any Solana right now, but I would love to own some Solana. So where are the levels where I would be myself very comfortable to be able to own some Solana? The first thing here is, as I showed you on the 4 hour, let me just go back to the 4 hour chart. Actually, I chose the wrong chart. On the 4 hour chart here is, when I see this price right here, this is my 200-day moving average, right? So any potential price weakness that will drop all the way to this 200-day moving average on the 4 hour chart, which was corresponds to about $50, I will come in and buy some more. I will start accumulating right here. Another even better support to be accumulating from, as I'm going back to the day chart, is this trend line that I've created here, which is a really good support. Has it's dating all the way back to February, late February of 2021. So, and this level has been tested multiple times. So then if the price comes back down to these levels, which is somewhere around the $20, guys, I'm not saying that Solana is going to $20 in the near future, should I say. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, if I get an opportunity of buying at these prices, these are the opportunities where I will be accumulating much more. But it's very unlikely that the price will actually be going this low, but it's very much possible. But I will be a lot more comfortable to accumulate between $50 and $60. Anyway, I hope that I provided you with enough value in this video. If that was the case, please allow me to ask you to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn the notification bell, as it helps us with the YouTube algorithm to get our message to a wider audience. With that being said, I'd like to say thank you, and I'll see you in my next video on Sunday. Bye.